we've taken another decisive step toward a future in which everyone will enjoy a decent, safe, secure and affordable home in which to live. I commend this statement to the House.
Shadow Secretary of State Kevin Hollinrake.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I thank him for advance sight of his statement? And can I first of all welcome the ambitious target 1.5 million homes in this Parliament? Can I just say, I think the Minister may have unintentionally misled the House regarding the dire inheritance he claims. This side is rightly proud of our record in housing delivery. 2013 to 2023, really, was a record level over the last 50 years in terms of housing, new housing formations, greater than any other period since the 1960s. We delivered 550,000 affordable homes since 2010, including 63,000 in 2022 and 23 alone. What we do not welcome is the war on rural England he is pursuing. Following on the family farm tax, the withdrawal of the Rural Services Delivery Grant, now we see the massive shift, mass house building in rural areas and on Greenbelt. We do not welcome the bulldozing of democratic accountability. We do not welcome the lowering of housing targets for urban areas, including a 20% reduction in London, who are already missing their targets by 50%. And we do not welcome an average doubling, a 100% increase for predominantly rural areas. The reality is, for local residents in areas like Westmoreland, Cumberland, North Yorkshire and the home counties, the residents will one day wake up to realise that they will face targets of up to 600% increases. They will call their local councillor to ask them to oppose a specific application and be shocked at the response. I'm sorry, we no longer have the right to vote against an individual application. They'll be even more shocked if they become aware of what Labour said in opposition. Their opposition motion of the 21st of June 2021 called on their government, this government, the previous government, to protect the right of communities to object to individual planning applications, something that he is now taking away. Wow. They'll be more shocked again when they become aware that the Minister himself used that right in 2021 to object to an application for 1,500 homes on a brownfield site in his constituency. And indeed, the Secretary of State also used that right to object to a development in her constituency in 2017. Same old Labour. Do as I say, not as I do. The reality is that they will fail to deliver on their target. And don't listen to me, listen to the CEO of Homes England, who has admitted in a leaked email that it is a two-parliament objective rather than being deliverable in this Parliament. The Centre for Cities or the Office of Budget Responsibility have both said they'll only deliver 1.1 million homes in England in this Parliament. And indeed, across the UK, only 1.3 million homes, which is lower than we delivered in the last Parliament. Another broken promise from Labour. As the Leader of the Opposition said, therefore, we will still be there for him, though. We'll be there for him and be there for the Secretary of State when she fails to deliver on that promise. This planning framework pushes development in rural areas, concreting over greenbelt, green fields and over our green and pleasant land, rather than focusing and supporting building in urban areas where we need to build the most. And to what end, Madam Deputy Speaker? Due to the loosening of restrictions on the visa requirements, such as the salary threshold and the scrapping of the Rwanda deterrent, the majority of the homes they deliver will be required for people coming into this country rather than from British citizens. Labour has also consistently failed on affordable homes. Under the London Labour Mayor, new affordable housing in Labour is down by 88%. Well, across England, the Conservative government delivered over 500,000 homes. See that they've already weakened their requirement for 50% affordable homes on the Greenbelt by allowing the use of viability assessments. This change will mean fewer affordable homes. The Labour government has already failed first-time buyers. The Conservative government doubled the number buying every year compared to 2010 by means of the stamp duty discounts, Help to Buy, Right to Buy and our affordable homes to purchase programmes, some of which helped the Secretary of State herself get onto the housing ladder, all now axed by this socialist government, pulling up the housing ladder. They are going to build over rural areas while claiming it's grey belt land. We delivered over 1 million homes in the last Parliament alone, but it is vital even more that we build in the right places with the right infrastructure. But the Prime Minister has already admitted that he will bulldoze through the concerns of local communities. If Labour really want homes to be built where they are needed, they must think again. Can I finish by asking him, how many of his 1.5 million homes will be affordable homes? What target does he expect will be the split for social rent, affordable rent and affordable homes to purchase, particularly given the use of viability assessments? On planning capacity, could he set out why his resourcing of planning authorities, which we broadly welcome, has risen from £20 million in his manifesto to £46 million in the budget to £100 million today, and how is that consistent with the budget? Why is he deliberately making it more difficult for first-time buyers to buy a home? And what percentage of the £1.5 million target does he expect will be needed for immigrant households?
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Well, I thank in some parts the honourable gentleman for his response and for those questions. And I'm glad he broadly supports the government's target of 1.5 million homes. It's, as the honourable gentleman will know, Madam Deputy Speaker, the previous government's target that they didn't once in 14 years achieve, that 300,000 homes a year target if you disaggregate it. But, Madam Deputy Speaker, there were so many inaccuracies and misleading statements in that document, a fundamental misunderstanding of the framework we've planned today, that I'm not sure where to start. The assertion that we're waging war on rural England, or that we have distributed housing targets predominantly towards rural areas, is simply wrong. We are focusing. Well, the honourable gentleman might wish to listen to the response and focus on the detail of the framework we published today. We are focusing growth across our city regions. Housing need across MCA areas will increase by over 20% compared to the current standard method. Similarly, on Greenbelt, Madam Deputy Speaker, it's not the case that we're allowing viability assessments. I was very clear in my statement. We're restricting the use of site-level viability assessments on Greenbelt release until we've refreshed viability PPG in the new year, at which point we'll consider exemptions for previously developed land and large sites. On local plans, Madam Deputy Speaker, we absolutely prioritise the importance of up-to-date local plans. We've inherited a system from the previous government where we have a less than a third up-to-date local plan coverage. That is unsustainable. We want communities more involved at an early stage, shaping their local plans. That's the best way they can shape development. And he mischaracterises, I'm afraid, our working paper proposals around planning committees. We're simply talking about, as we discussed at length in the UQ earlier in the week, streamlining the planning system, ensuring that trained professional planning officers take the appropriate decisions and members get to focus. And elected members get to focus on the largest and most controversial applications in their site. Madam Deputy Speaker, I'm not going to respond to the taunt about sites in my own constituency. Any honourable member? Well, because I've outlined my position many, many times before. I objected to a 1,500 home scheme, Madam Deputy Speaker, that I thought was poor quality and we could do better. It's very interesting, I say this to the members opposite, that consent was given many, many years ago. Not a spade has been put in the ground. It is the type of speculative development we need to see less of. We need more planned development through the plan system. On his questions, Madam Deputy Speaker, just briefly, on the proportion of homes under the 1.5 million target that will be affordable, we can't put a precise number on it at the moment for the following reason. We expect to see many, many more social and affordable homes come through developer contributions. Our golden rules that apply to the release of lands through the Greenbelt will ensure that proportion rises, that 15% premium on local affordable housing rates. But affordable provision, as the honourable gentleman will be aware, is partly related to grant funding from government, and we'll set out details of future investment at that point in the next year's spending review, multi-year spending review, along with what the successor programme to the Affordable Homes programme looks like and the precise split between social, rented homes and other forms of tenure. But we've been very clear we want to maximise the delivery of social value homes. On planning capacity, Madam Deputy Speaker, details were already set out in response to the consultation. The 100 million figure I cited is the amount of support going in the round to local plan support, planning capacity and capability support and other things. On migration, Madam Deputy Speaker, he knows as well as I do that the majority of homes that developers sell in this country are to British nationals, that most parts of the country have local allocation rules in place and local residency requirements that means that non-British nationals can't access housing, that only those who are eligible for no recourse to public funds can do so. He knows those rules. He's scaremongering. It's beneath him. I know that the honourable gentleman doesn't really believe it, and the House believes it either, Madam Deputy Speaker.